Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to check the latest headphone release by Meze Audio, the 105 IER. IER stands for AER in my mother language, I'm Romanian, and suggesting an airy and open sound even from their most affordable open back dynamic headphones. These will cost you $400 or 400 euros here locally. So they are basically 2 times cheaper compared to their bigger brothers 109 Pro, which I'll be comparing shortly. I tried their prototypes in May of this year at the Munich high-end show, and I'm glad to tell you that they are now sounding better compared to their prototypes, which is a very good thing. Okay guys, so let's check them out in the usual fashion. Let's go. While these are exactly 2 times cheaper compared to their 109 Pro siblings, except for ABS caps, plastic caps, and also a less impressive driver assembly, these are pretty much the same with the 109 Pro, so the build quality is actually very high on these ones. These are using an identical frame that's strong, lightweight and good looking, without having rods or screws to be adjusted. You just put them on your head and that is pretty much it. You don't need to adjust anything else. And since these are the lightest open back headphones to date, I have zero pressure around my ears or on top of my head, so I can wear them for long periods of time, no problem. At 336 grams, these are lightweight by desktop headphone standards, but the real kicker is the comfort level, since again I can wear them for at least 2 hours straight. Once again, we have a detachable cable with a 3.5mm termination at both ends, and a 1/4 inch headphone adapter is also included in case you'll drive these with some desktop headphone amplifiers. Their cable quality is decent, it's flexible, I don't hear any microphonics when touching it, and I see no reason to change it unless you want to go the balanced route, which Meze Audio will be providing at an extra expense. As for tech inside them, as you already guessed, these are open back dynamic headphones that use a very similar driver assembly with their bigger siblings 109 Pro. The only difference is that we no longer have a beryllium coated torus around the driver, but a polymer torus with the same cellulose composite dome driver. We have a similar driver size, so 50mm drivers more exactly, and a similar impedance and sensitivity. At 112 dB per a single milliwatt of power and at 42 ohms, you can drive these with basically anything really that has a headphone jack. I tried them with a few small USB Type-C dongles and also with small Bluetooth gizmos, and they worked just fine, but of course they will sound better with nicer source components, with a better DAC, with a better headphone amplifier, so take that into consideration. The bracing around the driver is less impressive versus 109 Pro, but other than this, we get the same high quality craftsmanship, the same attention to detail, and of course a very similar house sound. Sound-wise, right off the bat, I can hear that we have quite a different tonality versus 109 Pro, which works with a wider variety of musical genres and also works with a wider variety of electronics, DACs, headphone amplifiers, dongles, DAC I'm combos. This time around we have a more rounder sound, so there is slightly more bass in general and less treble delivery compared to 109 Pro. Actually, the treble is the biggest difference because it's no longer as bright and it's no longer as shining, or how to say it, harsh maybe. Sometimes 109 Pro could be harsh with some electronics, with THX AAA amplifiers, with NFC amplifiers, with ultra-linear setups, but that is no longer the case with 105 IER. These are quite different. I actually feel that Meze Audio is somehow going back to their roots. The very first headphones that I tried from them were 99 Classics and then 99 Neo, and these have a very similar tonality in terms of frequency response, but of course these are considerably more technical sounding, so clearer, airier, more controlled, so on and so forth. The things that took a step down versus 109 Pro would be resolution, and I'm not talking only about the treble because there is simply less information going forward from the bass and mid-range as well. And also, these are not exactly as fast sounding and as controlled sounding versus 109 Pro. We have a less impressive driver assembly and bracing of the driver on 105. And of course, the sound is not exactly as tight, it's not exactly as fast, so it's not lightning fast that was happening on 109 Pro. And this will be, you know, the biggest difference overall that I can hear, you know, without doing any kinds of measurements or anything like that. The sound is more diffuse on 105 versus 109 Pro, but at the same time it's also more pleasing. It's slightly easier going, not as fast. That can be also a plus with several musical genres. I listen to lots of jazz and lots of acoustic music, and sometimes I want this kind of, you know, slower performance, so I can, you know, just rest and calm my spirits and go with the flow. And that's exactly what I'm getting with 105. I will measure them very, very soon, but even right now I can tell that there is slightly more bass and considerably less treble. These can be a little bit more thumpy in the bass, but the bass is not of the same quality as it is on 109 Pro. If you go back to my 109 Pro review, then you'll see that I've been using even a few leather ear pads from Kennerton because I wanted to tame that brightness. And with those particular ear pads from Valley headphones, they were not so bright anymore and the bass was considerably higher. So if I'm using those pads on the 109 Pro, I'm getting a very similar sound with the 105i in terms of tonality only. So bass, mid-range and treble, because clearly I'm getting more bass and less treble, and that's exactly what Meze Audio did with the 105i. 109 Pro could be tamed easily with several combinations, like with R2 DACs, with fully discrete headphone amplifiers, or better yet, with single-ended vacuum tube amplifiers that will remove all that glare and all that digitus. These actually impressed me with their resolution and with their tightness for a headphone below $1,000 but these are now impressing me with their soothing character. These are sounding much calmer, letting me listen to music or game for a few hours without being bothered by an uneven frequency response. Although the differences might be quite small when comparing this with 109 Pro on some small gizmos, DAC I'm combos, portable digital audio players, the differences are bigger once I start connecting them to some world-class headphone systems that will be revealing plenty of things, you know, without stressing too much. The biggest difference, except for that frequency response, would be their resolution, because I'm getting more micro-level information on the 109 Pro, and there are many headphones in a very similar price bracket that are offering more information, like HiFiMan Edition XS, like HiFiMan Ananda Nano, although these are delivering enough information very similar to what I'm getting from Sennheiser HD 660S2, Apos Caspian, Kennerton Valley, RZH Mania. So again, the resolution is not bad, but it's not really the best that I've heard at this price. And the second difference would be the driver control, especially on some crowded, loud electronica, especially when some loud machine gun-like notes, you know, pumping some dopamine. The music is no longer such in control and as tight on the 105 as it is on 109 and also on Ananda Nano and Edition XS. On the bright side, none of those headphones will be making me happy after 3 hours of non-stop listening, of non-stop gaming, because we have a lighter frame, we have a smoother character, we have much easier going tonality as well, a much better weight distribution, and of course a rounded performance, so I can use them for longer periods of time. So is the 105i a jack of all trades and a master of none? Yes and no. I mean, sure enough, we're not getting the last word in terms of resolution, but at the same time, at this price, there are no headphones that are giving you the last word on resolution. And also, we're getting a very good tonality this time around, and I cannot hate them or dislike them for that. Sure enough, we're not getting the same resolution and tightness that I'm getting from 109 Pro, but at the same time I'm not getting the same bright and slightly harsh character of the 109 Pro. So these are working with a wider variety of electronics and with a wider variety of music. At the end of the day, 105 IR is not really a downgraded 109 Pro, but a headphone with a different flavor. It's like Meze somehow mashed the sound of their 99 Classics and Imperium into one single headphone, and that's exactly what we are getting with the 105 IR. Now into the good parts. These worked just fine and they sounded fun even with the bundled USB Type-C dongle I've got from Meze IEMs, and the same thing happened with that USB Type-C dongle from Apple. So I had enough volume to blast a hole into my eardrums. I believe that's the beauty of it. These won't require an arm and a leg, and you can squeeze maximum performance even with a portable digital audio player. These are easy to drive and these are easy on your wallet, and these won't require some massive headphone amplifiers with huge voltage swings. You know what else is kind of impressive on these headphones? The air in between the notes, the stereo separation, and also the out-of-head experience that I'm getting with this. The soundstage itself is not the biggest that I have experienced. I do believe that Meze Elite, Resistich Charybdis, and also Sennheiser HD800S are still providing me the biggest soundstage, but at the same time these are bigger sounding compared to Apos Caspian. What else compared to Sennheiser HD660, also compared to Huffman Sundara as well. I mean, it's in their name for Thor's sake, AER, so clearly they should do this part quite good. If you look closely at their driver assembly and most importantly at their caps, you can see that the air will be going out their caps pretty easily. We don't have any diffraction points, leaving the sound to escape their caps as fast as possible. There is simply zero rattle when going louder, and the distortion while goes up as well is not reaching a breaking point. So again, I think we have a well-rounded performance that on top of everything is quite airy sounding too. Moving on to frequency response, the bass is slightly but very little elevated from linearity. It's slightly higher compared to 109 Pro. Quantity-wise, there is slightly more of it, but that's what makes the sound slightly fun. There is more oomph, there is more punch in the bass. The sub bass, there is a very gentle roll-off in between 12 and 30 Hertz, but that's basically a trademark for all open back dynamic driver headphones that I know of, so that is not something to worry about. The bass region is decently clean and right now offers a stronger punching power, but it's not a very tight or super fast sounding like that of planar headphones. The one and only frequency region that doesn't need an introduction on Meze headphones is actually the mid-range region. You are basically buying Meze headphones for their outstanding mid-range performance, so everything that has to do with vocal performance, with musical instruments, wind instruments, string instruments, all of that sounds very lifelike and natural on Meze headphones, and that is no different on the 105 IR. There is some of that 99 Classic sweetness. The voices are always soothing, the voices are always calm, and no matter what I'm listening to, the live always go back into my tunes. The trebles are no longer biting on 105 like they do on 109 Pro. So the most sensitive part of our hearing in between 6 and 8 kHz is no longer going up from linearity. It's on the same level basically with the mid bass, with the mid range, so everything sounds actually quite natural and real in the treble region. And that's why they work better with a wider variety of gear and music choices, and the only thing that you shouldn't expect from this is a strong contour of the notes and leading edge, since Meze made them more universal sounding, making them slightly rounder overall. As promised, here are my measurements, and this is their raw frequency response, and as you can see, their drivers are exceptionally matched. They offer almost a straight line from 30 Hz to around 1 kHz, suggesting an exemplary bass in mid-range performance. You can see a minor roll-off in the sub-bass and another slope in the upper mid-range, but That's normal behavior, as most open back headphones are doing the same. The most sensitive part of our hearing is no longer nasty looking, never going up by a single dB from the test signal. Here is a direct comparison with the 109 Pro with the stock velour pads and also with some Kennertone leather pads. I used to tame the 109 Pro. Their spectrogram no longer shows a minor ringing of their caps in the bass region, and I don't see some nasty distortions building up anywhere else. Distortion reading is looking good, and the spectral decay looks a somewhat fast but not ultra fast sounding pair of headphones. In the end, for half the price of 109 Pro, we got an identical looking headphone that swapped wooden caps with ABS plastic caps that made them lighter and also more comfortable long term. Meze Audio finally decided going back to their roots, honoring their legacy left behind by 99 Classics, getting similarly tuned headphones that is easy on the ear, that is easy to drive while boosting their technicalities and also making them AER sounding. These are far from perfect sounding headphones. They still don't have the resolution nor the kick of double-sided planar headphones, but at the same time they still offer a tremendous value at this price. And let's not forget the easy serviceability, their high build quality, and of course the young and vibrant Meze Audio team. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!